everyone, welcome to the Retro 5. We are back with the legendary Dominik Diamond. Thank you, Mr. Diamond, for being with us tonight. We have a special guest, another special guest, just who wants to say hello to you. So here we go.
Welcome to the Retro 5, Dominik Diamond!
I thought for 1 second, oh my God, they've got Dave Perry.
Could you imagine? Good did I forgot he was doing that.
No.
I bet you still call it a Mega Drive, though.
I do. I don't call it the Genesis. Although
Okay.
that's really interesting because I've done I basically came. Well, I didn't come out here to do radio. I came out here because I bought a farm because I had a midlife crisis and didn't buy a Harley Davidson. Instead, I bought a small farm. And but then I ran out of money in a year. And so I started back in radio in Canada as a complete unknown and kind of worked my way up. But whenever I talk about video games, and I don't talk about them a lot on radio because it's mostly kind of classic rock radio is what I've done in Canada. But if I do slip in some video game stuff and I do say Mega Drive, they're just like, what? And I keep remembering sometimes I have to call it the Genesis. But actually, the Genesis is quite a cool name. And I'm not really sure what's best. Mega Drive or Genesis. Genesis is such a great name, especially when you think about what that machine did for the world of gaming. And remember, that was GamesMaster started with the Mega Drive. So the Mega Drive was the genesis of GamesMaster. So pretty good name in retrospect.
Well, my question, Dominik, is I want to know your gaming journey. I want to know the first experiences you've had of video games and how that journey progressed with your sort of consoles and computers.
You know, it's funny because I always say that my journey began with arcade games and with the ZX Spectrum. I was lucky that where I grew up, our both with a fantastic little arcade. Oh yeah, quality. Yeah, we had a fantastic arcade at O'Brien's Pleasureland. So it had so many of that first wave of arcade games in the 70s there. And then we had a Spectrum in the 80s. But I actually just remembered the other day, we had, and I don't know if any of you guys know, we had this bizarre, really sketchy, low-rent, black and white games machine before then. And this would have been late 70s. It came with a black and white telly. It plugged into black and white telly. There was about 5 variations of Pong on it. And that was it. And it wasn't. And what was
would
amazing
it have been a grandstand?
Like, could it be? Well, what I had, Si, was what was weird? The joystick, if I remember correctly, the joystick didn't center. So
yeah, they never did.
Yeah, so you pushed it to one bit, and it just you had to pull it all the way back. Was that a grandstand?
Did it have cartridges, or was it standalone?
Standalone, no cartridges.
Standalone. So that would have been probably a grandstand because later on you would have had the aTronic and they had separate cartridges.
No, definitely.
But they all had this problem with the self-centering, and the problem is as the games got more advanced, like you're playing Space Invaders and you can't stop Space Invaders from moving. So
I'm gonna make a note of that actually because I think I might write a bit about that for the Guardian at some point from a Guardian column. So that's good. I can check. Now I know the name of it.
Can you just write in the memoirs, thanks to Side Ginger Hippie Gaming?
So back to the question.
So
it was the grandstand. It was the grandstand. That was the first thing, and it was quite good because it meant that we got a second telly as well, which made us pretty posh because I grew up in a council estate. And so, I think we were one of the few families to have a second telly, to have the kitchen telly. So it was brilliant. Yeah.
Here we go.
Hello, Sega Zombie!
he genuinely has that much energy in real life.
Why didn't they get him to do the GamesMaster character in the reboot? Why didn't they get Ali to do it? He'd been brilliant. Yeah. Everybody always wanted Brian Blessed, and he does as good a job.
Listen, old Ali, he's a legend. Unfortunately, there's a man with a big net running around looking for him, trying to catch the fucker because he's a lunatic.
Well, Ali's my Sega brother, and we've both got this question, Dom, and that is Sega or Nintendo?
Well, that's a very easy question for me to answer. right now because I've just been signed up to be a monthly columnist on Sega Powered magazine. So Sega all the way,
Sega all the way.
%. Definitely not even close. Not
Is
even
Nintendo
close.
Alex in the chat?
I mean, it was like it wasn't really any contest in the 90s because Nintendo came up with some fantastic machines and some great games, but there was only ever about 5 of them. Every machine, they made the same mistake again and again and again. Whereas Sega just absolutely just spunked the games out. I mean, it was incredible. The choice you had was absolutely phenomenal. And
Scott actually has a full set, so they're all over his walls.
When you go back to the 90s, it was cool to play Sega games.
Yeah.
It weren't so cool to play Nintendo games.
No, Nintendo was for kids. Sega with the marketing, all those the Razor ads and everything. They positioned the brand phenomenally. Really, really clever. They were very, very clever guys.
Hi, Alex. I swear to you, Scott didn't pay him to say that. All right, cool. So while we're here, let's ask this question because a few people is it in us with us five. With us 5 here, we're all. I've just got into 8-bit thanks to Sai, but the other 4 guys have been into 8-bit for ages. Now, surely, as Paul would back me up here, the far superior system is the Commodore. Is it not, Paul?
No.
Yes. It depends what you grew up with.
What do you think, Dominic? Please, just and try and keep it short and sweet because Commodore is a very quick word to say.
Amiga wasn't 8-bit though. Amiga was 16-bit. Yeah.
That's the next.
So what was before the Amiga then? What was the Commodore one that was 8-bit?
Exactly. See, Dom doesn't even know what a Commodore.
No, he does. Bless him. It's the time difference. He's got jet lag or something.
No, before the Amiga, it didn't even factor into my kind of.
Oh yeah.
You got a double win there, Scott.
Guys, thanks for watching. I've been Retro Chef. Fuck this.
Right. Okay. So here's my one experience with the C64. Okay. I can't believe I just had a brain fart and forgot about that. Right. So when I was growing up, so in my house, and so like I said, we grew up with the ZX Spectrum and everything. Our neighbours, Sandra and Jim Leith, they had a Commodore 64, which was pretty posh for kind of where I grew up. And I used to babysit for their kids. And I went around one night and I'm like, okay, let's it's okay if I play the Commodore 64 when the kids are in bed. Yeah, sure, Dominic, on you go, fine. Right. So I don't know what the other power lead was for, but it was basically 2 power leads. Right, and I put the wrong one in the back. I turned it on, and I fried their Commodore 64. So that was my first experience with the Commodore 64. And I was
I think being a Spectrum owner, it was like a subliminal kind of thing where you had to destroy that Commodore 64.
Yeah. You've fallen asleep.
I think Dominic must have fallen asleep there and talked a bit of fluff because I'm sure he said Commodore.
Well, there's a fair few in the comments. There's loads of people actually saying about their favourite Star Wars video game. What would be your favourite one?
Oh, X-Wing, the original X-Wing on the PC. That first time that you could actually do those, aerial gun battles, and with the sound. That first time you heard the TIE fighter sound coming over the top of you. I thought that was a brilliant game.
What's really relevant, I think, and why it captures us all, the GamesMaster, is because you made gaming not just nerdy, but very cool. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I draw to Sega, because it tried to make it cool. And the GamesMaster hit at the right time, I think.
See, that is really interesting you say that, because so much of the book is about me struggling with the coolness of the show. And I'll tell you why, because there's a lot of stuff I hated doing season 2. And even though this was 3 million viewers, one of the biggest shows on Channel 4, and I hated it because I hated the way that I looked. I hated how I had to dress. And it was the last time that anyone ever told me what to wear on a TV show. And this is what I hated, was that I thought I looked really uncool. And coming from the Word, I wanted to do the Word because it was cool. And I always felt that the reason I didn't get the Word was because I wasn't cool enough. There was all these people there who were better looking and everything. So it was a bit of a chip on my shoulder about that. And it's so weird hearing, and it's wonderful and it's great hearing from so many people about how GamesMaster was cool. And I like the fact that we gave, quote unquote, you know, nerds, geeks, whatever, something that was cool. And I hear from when we launched the Kickstarter on the book, and I was utterly bowled away by how many people would message me saying, I was a kid. I didn't have a lot of mates when I was young. I was a bit of a geeky kid. I liked computers and everything. I got bullied at school because of it. Then the show came on telly about what I loved, about what kind of marginalized me. And it made it cool. And I got all these friends because of it. And it was this little bit of light in my life. And it made my childhood so much better. And I just think to be able to do that to people, you know, I mean, I've got 3 kids whose lives fucking I've not made happier in the slightest. But to think that I've done that with other kids out there is absolutely fantastic. If you can make, because childhood's shit, man. Childhood's horrible. It's a nightmare. It's just pain and angst and exams and fancying a girl that doesn't fancy you back, you know, and it's just like, and not being able to afford to do the stuff you want and not being able to go for a drink because you're not old enough. So I think if you can do anything that makes people's, you know, kind of childhoods just a bit better and a bit happier, that's absolutely fantastic. And there's so many people who also said, oh, I'm a programmer now because of GamesMaster. I work for Sega now because of GamesMaster, you know, and I look at, you know, guys like yourselves who did the amazing stuff that you guys put on YouTube. And I know, having, you know, tried I tried to do Twitch for a little while during the first lockdown, and it's a nightmare. I couldn't do it. The stress was too much, having to do all the buttons and everything. So I know how hard it is to do the kind of thing that you guys are doing and to keep it going. You know, it's easy to do it for a couple of weeks and then go, oh fuck, this is stressful, right? But to keep it doing that is incredible, and I'm really kind of proud that GamesMaster played a part in, you know, in that.
It's played a big part in a lot of people's lives. That's the thing.
That comment from another good friend from all of us. Amazing where this YouTube probably takes you. Look at you 5 tonight. I thought he was going to say something like, you know, like we're all a bunch of cunts, but instead he's put talking with someone from our childhood. Great stuff. Pete on the retro tip, you are a legend, my friend. You are a fucking legend.
You know, with YouTube shows like you guys and podcasts by people, you know, that is what it absolutely is fueled by passion, because if you don't have that passion, you can't do it, because you guys have all got your day jobs and it's fucking hard to do that and come home at the end of the day and do anything. So you have to have the passion. So if I can't match that passion, then I shouldn't have any business doing it.
Yeah, everyone knows Larry. He really is the guru. I've had him on the Retro Gamer Quiz, and
and he beat everyone.
Well, he went up against this guy here, who's our champion. He's got his champions t-shirt on, and he's already to have beat Scott last year.
Another community question. This is from YouTuber Eddie Rollercore.
Oh,
did any guests have any unusual backstage riders in GamesMaster?
You think we gave the guests a backstage riders? There's
and a table.
Yeah, the next community question is from Jay Cybersnake, fantastic YouTuber. My question is, what was... Oh, my phone's just gone off. What was Dominik's favourite season and episodes?
Well, I think we kind of said it before. Season 7 was the most fun, without a doubt. In terms of the... and interviewing Mark Hamill was probably the single kind of greatest thing that I did. Series 4 was fun. 5, 6, series 7. In terms of, it's difficult to think of one individual episode because we didn't film them episode by episode. We would basically we would have all the film, and that's when we do all the games challenges and all the intros, outros, and links into bits. So it wasn't. I mean, I can think of like I think the one challenge, let's answer that a different way. The one challenge that I had the most fun at was with Rick Henderson, and it was Regis and Jarrett doing the Athlete Kings on the Sega arcade game,
Right.
and they were just such a laugh. We did a whole lot of jokes about lycra and little things wiggling inside lycra shorts, and they just got it. They just absolutely got it. They got the sense of humor, and they were a couple of great guys. So that was a lot of fun. But it's difficult. There wasn't. I mean, it was all fun. There wasn't.
Yeah.
I can't think of any time I was ever on, after I got series 2 out of the way, but 4, 5, 6, and 7, I can't remember a moment I was on that set and I felt less than utterly happy, excited, thrilled to be there.
This is from James Evans, Super Jim Tendo. Are you still active in the gaming scene? And if so, what are you playing and what are your favourite games?
There we go.
Well, I said Horizon Zero Dawn is what I'm playing just now, and I absolutely love that. I'm struggling with a lot of the podcasts so far have been me keeping on giving eFootball 2022 from Konami another chance with the latest patch and update that they've done. I'm desperate to like it because I think that we need an alternative to FIFA. And it's just the absolute.
Well, there's no FIFA next year.
No, that's right. Yeah, but I mean, there'll be the game, but obviously, the sponsorships all up in there. But unfortunately, Konami absolutely shit the bed. Like no other company has ever shit the bed with a games franchise in the history of gaming with that release. And it was absolutely shocking. So I'm trying to play that, but I'm not enjoying it. I've been playing God of War. Well, this is what I love about the Netflixication of games. So I have PS Now, PS Plus. It's all kind of just merged, and I have the Xbox Ultimate. So I think that they actually, for someone like me who's trying to go back and look at the last 10 years of gaming where I haven't played, it's brilliant because there's so much great stuff on there. The fact you've got God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn on PS Now just now for your subscription is absolutely phenomenal. So it's those two and eFootball 2022 are the ones.
Dom, can you read that bottom message, please? Because that's Sega Zombie's message. Do you mind giving her a little shout out?
Yeah, I just want Dominik to give me a shout out. I was such a big fan of GamesMaster. All right, JD. Shout out.
Done.
That's it. We've sorted Scott out now. He's got to do nothing this weekend. Legs up.
Yeah, brownie points, brilliant.
That's it, bro.
You could say if it was to someone of this, like if it was to a kid today or a millennial, and you tried to say and sum up GamesMaster to them, you say, you see your esports, yeah, we invented that, but it was funny.
Yeah,
that's it.
and we could say what we wanted.
Do you think, Dom, that in today's society that GamesMaster could even be broadcast on TV now?
Not the 90s version. But those shows couldn't be. No. And rightly so. So it's a very different world that we're in now. Yeah. And this was interesting when when I was having discussions with them about the reboot, and part of me was like, you know what? If I don't come back as 90s Dominik, then I think it's a bit of a cop out. Yeah. And if they want to not make it like that, GamesMaster was GamesMaster. It was of its time, and that And so if I'd have come back and with a kind of like a safe down the middle of the road, no knob gags, no dangerous stuff, I think people would have been like, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do that to the original fans. So no, you couldn't have it. Mm. Well, thanks, guys. Keep fighting the good fight that you're doing. Just keep all this retro stuff alive, guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Zombie, anything from you?
Just that you've been a true gent, Dom, and this has been a fantastic stream. And I know a lot of people out there that have been watching this are going to really enjoy it. And we've just been, sitting around the bar table having a chat. It's been great.
I'm just pleased I can make your wife happy.
Yes, that's brilliant.
I don't know if you realise it or not, Dominik, but you are important to a lot of us. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now. So,
Yeah. No, that is a big thing. Yeah.
Paul, anything from you?
I feel very humble. Thank you.
For me, 6:30 on a Thursday is a very special time. I used to be at my nana's that night, and I used to be able to watch GamesMaster on Channel 4. And I'm very aware that that's exactly the same time as when your column cast.
Podcast drops, yeah, every week. That's why I drop at that time. Yeah, 6:30 Thursday. Yeah.
Get in there.
Yet again, I'm there at 6:30, waiting to listen to you, and yeah, let long may continue. Thank you.
Oh, we're back to someone's wife. No, they
love it.
Well, just I'm pleased the show meant a lot to you guys. I'm pleased the show meant a lot to people who have gone on and kind of kept that passion alive, and long may it continue. And thank you very much. And if people want to at Dominik Diamond at Twitter, if they want to subscribe to the podcast, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'll keep it going for as long as is possible. So
that's it. I would like to personally thank the many talented people that have worked on this show. They will all go on to bigger things, but somehow none of them will seem quite as self-indulgent as GamesMaster. I know some people might have thought it's been flippant. To some people it might seem as if it's been in bad taste, but it was made with the total conviction that to you, the viewers, it meant something. So I guess really now with the last link of the last series, I should come up with the funniest gag in the history of GamesMaster, but I can't.
Sega, zombie. Sega, zombie.